All right, boys, welcome back to another video. Knicks Daily here. We've got a huge update overall on the team. We're going to be getting into Mitch's return, OG's return. We're going to talk about the Celtics game, and I want to talk about the buyout market. Now, for those of you that don't know, the Knicks are in a sticky situation because they can't sign anyone in the buyout market until the end of February. And if they want to bring in TJ Warren and call him up from the G League, they have to wait until March. So a move isn't going to be made for weeks, but still, I want to give you guys the options that the Knicks have. Right now, I have no idea who the Knicks are interested in. I'm just going to give you who I think they'll end up being interested in as someone who covers the team. Obviously, he's a big Knicks fan. So let's talk about that first because I think that's the most exciting thing. Mitch returning absolutely is exciting, but is he coming back March 1st or will he be back towards the playoffs, right? It just keeps going up and up. But in terms of the buyout market candidates, the first one I want to go with is Daniel Theis. So he was waived by the Oklahoma City Thunder after being acquired in a trade with the Pelicans. He had a contract number of 2.1 million before being released, which allows him to be signed by the Knicks, right? I believe I don't know the exact number. It's like 12.9 or something like that. Anything over than that, the Knicks cannot sign someone to the buyout market. So like an example would be Ben Simmons. Another example would be Bruce Brown, right? Those two guys, like I know Simmons went to the Clippers, but still, like we were never able to sign him by the rules, of course, with the new CBA. Tice averaging 4.3 points, 4.3 rebounds, half a block and steal a game in 16.3 minutes for the Pelicans. He's just a reliable option for the Knicks off of the bench. Now, obviously, with a fully healthy Knicks team, he wouldn't play, but he wouldn't be signed to play. He'd be signed for a depth piece in case he needs to be called on, right? Like you look at Alec Burks, for example, against the Pacers. He was called upon. He played very well. I think Tice could do the same thing. Now, honestly, the guy that I'm most intrigued by on this entire list that I'm going to go over is Mo Bamba, only making 2.6 million, waived by the Jazz, of course, after being traded there from the Clippers. 4.6 points, 4.3 rebounds, a block per game, and 28 appearances. Not to mention he can shoot the three ball. I mean, I know 30% doesn't seem like much, but to have a legit 7-foot shot blocking, rebounding big who can stretch the floor, also young too. I don't know exactly how old Bomb is, but he's definitely in his like mid 20s. So could be an option for the Knicks just behind Mitch, of course, behind Achua. Achua is on an expiring contract, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't know why the Knicks would let him go, but I mean, Bamba could be very, very interesting, man. I'd love that addition. And then we've got, I believe, two more on my list. I thought about putting Seth Curry, but I was like, that's kind of dumb. Like Seth Curry definitely would not fit on this team, but 45% three-point shooter if he does get bought out. But again, realistic, right? No, the Knicks are not bringing in a guard with that last roster spot. It's just not going to happen. Seth would be awesome. But in terms of PJ Tucker, so he has not been released by the Raptors yet, but I just highly doubt that he's going to play a game for them. I'd be willing to bet a lot of money. And PJ's contract 11.5 million, so he barely just squeaks in as a player the Knicks can pursue. For his career, PJ's averaging 6.6 points, 5.4 rebounds, 37% three-point shooter, and very good defense. He's not the player he once was, but just a guy who can play multiple positions, can play the three, the four, even the small ball five. He's got that championship experience with the Bucks. And just him being a veteran, a mentor. I mean, you got to realize that your final roster spot, if you can bring in a guy who's won a championship, who's played on a lot of good contending teams, and he can still come in and play if needed. I mean, that's what you want. You don't just want to look at it as like, hey, look, oh my God, let's say this is the best guy that's available. Let's bring him in. It's not really how the Knicks should look at it. I mean, I get you want the best player, but the best fit and just a veteran, like a mentor, somebody who's been there in that moment. That's what the Knicks need right now because who won the Knicks right now has won a championship. I don't think anyone has. I could be wrong. Maybe campaign, I don't think has. Shamit, I mean, nobody that's a big part of the rotation, at least, right? So, PJ Tucker's been there in that moment. And I love PJ Tucker too, man. I covered him all those years he was with the Rockets, and he's a great guy, but he's just a competitor. And I really do feel like he could teach the Knicks a lot. So I would love for them to bring him in. Honestly, I think I could make an argument that I would want PJ more than Mo Bamba. I think Bamba has the upside, but I think Tucker would just be perfect, man. Just he's a tips guy for sure. And then speaking of tips guys, the last actually two more guys. So I put Taj Gibson on this list, and I know he's like 30 at 39 years old, been in the league for 16 years, but Tibbs already has his trust. The fans like him. I like him. I'm sure you guys like Taj Gibson. 20 games of the season, 2.4 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 10 minutes per game. That's pretty good. Like, that's pretty solid exercise and physicality. Taj is a versatile player. I would not mind him at all, if I'm being honest with you. And then here's what I think the Knicks are going to do. And coincidentally, I didn't intentionally put the guy I think the Knicks are gonna do at the end, it just happened to be that way. I think TJ Warren will get the Knicks final roster spot. He just had 47 on Friday. He was like 7 of 13 from 3. He also had 11 assists, and he's averaging 25 in the G League. Due to financial restrictions, the Knicks are unable to sign him until March to their roster, which is why I think the Knicks will just wait till March and then bring in TJ Warren. The reason for that is just he's a wing who can shoot the basketball. He's a veteran, former first round pick. We saw in the preseason what he's able to do. It might not seem like much, but he came in, knocked down some shots like right away. So I do think Warren gets the final roster spot because if you look at it from the Knicks' perspective, if you're Leon Rose, at your big position, you've got Mitch returning hopefully March 1st. You got Cat, you got Precious. That's plenty of size. Hukporty as well. Ariel Hukporty. You don't really need to bring in another big. The only reason you bring in another big is if you have zero trust in Mitch. But if that was the case, they would have just traded Mitch, even if they didn't really get much, just like a depth wing. But they kept Mitch, so clearly they trust him. And also, it's not even the fact that they just kept Mitch. I don't want to spoil it because I'm gonna make a video right after this talking about Mitch. I got a lot on my mind about Mitchell Robinson, man. What the hell was he thinking, dude? And he did something crazy. So watch my next video. After this, go and look at literally my next video. If it's not up, then it will be up by the end of the day. So, but talking about TJ Warren, yeah, or we were talking about the Knicks backcourt, right? So they got plenty of size. There's just no need to bring in another big. Of course. So the wing though, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and then I'm looking at OG Anunoby. Those three guys literally first, second, and third in minutes played. So OG's been hurt, so that definitely changed. But before he got injured, I mean, these guys were literally 1, 2, and 3. So bringing in another wing allows depth behind them because, like Landry Shamet, I don't believe is going to be playing that big of a role for the Knicks. He just was a cheap option, like a vets minimum guy. The Knicks do like him, but Landry Shamet, like, is he going to be able to give the Knicks much? I don't really think so. TJ Warren, on the other hand, I legitimately changes everything. Like I like TJ Warren a lot. I wanted him to make the roster, but the Knicks just couldn't afford it. It's why the Knicks didn't draft like Ryan Dunn, for example. That's why they drafted Pacome Dade, who doesn't even play. It's just because he was a cheap first round pick, which is smart financially speaking. But again, like Shaman, I mean, he's not really a big part of the rotation. I think TJ Warren legitimately could help a lot. He's got the size and the shooting, the scoring. He's just a good player. Like, TJ Warren's legitimately good. Like he should be a part of the Knicks rotation, just flat out. But they're trying to get the financial thing down. And then that's it for the wing. Like it's very, very short. There's just literally nothing behind. I mean, there's nothing behind Bridges, Hart, and Ananobi. So TJ Warren helps that. And then the guards are set. Payne, Brunson, McBride. McBride hasn't really taken the leap that I like this year, but I know he has a completely different role, but still. And I trust McBride, man. I like McBride a lot. But just those three guys have definitely got that locked down. DeLon Wright, if needed. Hell, Tyler Kolek, if needed. So that they're fine there. But yeah, that's the video, guys. Let me know your thoughts, and I'm out. Peace.